That's okay. I'm getting the cue prompter set up.
Oh, look at that. Your cue prompter.
We live?
We're live. We're on, yeah.
We're live.
Yeah, dude.
All right, here we go. This week on the Media Virus Podcast, Luigi's Naughty Mansion. From porn dreams to prison screams. Meth, abalone, and a turtle walk into a car. Till death do us part. I read that wrong. Till death do us depart. The Mile High Mortuary. Sue the ads, not the player. Hackman's final curtain call. A real tragedy.
Shut up and sit down.
It's the Media Virus Podcast. Now here's your infection team. Dude, hold on. Your mic is muted.
There you go. I can take a chance at it. We're broadcasting our 225th podcast straight from our own deranged corner of the internet, where the headlines, well, they're twisted. The jokes are questionable, and the hosts are definitely not qualified. This is the show where no topic is off limits, no punchline is too inappropriate, and no one leaves without learning or at least catching something. Whether you're here for the chaos, the comedy, or just because your life choices have taken a dark turn. Welcome to the Media Virus Podcast. Let's point and laugh as the world burns around us. As you all know, or don't, I am Matty Rockdeff, and joining me this evening is that Pompadourian bastard that we all know and love, the Reverend and Professor Michael Torres. How you doing, Mike?
Good. Good evening, everybody.
It's a good evening indeed. I think we got a pretty good show. Everybody,
really big shoe.
Really big shoe for everybody to watch on. And after the introduction that I just gave you, I need to introduce the love of my life, the queen of Colby Avenue, the bobbed beauty that we call Ricky Rockdeff.
Did you write that?
I did.
Hey, guys.
I was debating on whether to pronounce it bobbed or bobbed.
Oh, that would be weird, I feel.
Well, because your hairstyle is a bob.
Thank you for explaining it, Matt.
There you go. Now, I want to, because nobody can see you. That's part of it, too.
Are we rocking new hair? Did we go shorter than normal?
Oh, yes. We are very short. We're doing, it's giving posh spice.
Okay.
A little short stack in the back, but long in the front.
It's cute. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah. Except we still wear it curly because ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. Pull back the curtain a little bit. To be fair, in our case, that curtain is one of those plastic shower curtains that we stole out of the trash, but it's a peek nonetheless.
Ew.
I did change the game plan this morning when I saw the story, and was going to put it, in the C block, but it's the first planned story we have. But then I thought, this would tickle Ricky. That's the whole idea. And then, it would really perk up your ears and maybe even get a tail wag that could carry us into the end of the block. But you, Ricky, mentioned that there were some things that you were fired up about.
You know what? There were things I was fired up about, and I screenshotted them because I knew I wouldn't remember, and I am right because I don't remember. So we're going to go into the photos and find out what we were talking about.
Well, you told me specifically about the Army.
Oh my God, stupid ass Army hammer.
And the thing that you continue to see that you really hated. And I think I found it.
So listen, the biggest part of this story of me telling you about this dumbass Army hammer story is that every time I went to my Instagram all day yesterday, this video that TMZ posted was the very first one, and I was like, hold on, is it?
I tried hooking up with a dude one time.
And like my story, like the stories at the top, I'm super into watching people's stories. The stories all updated. When I scrolled, it would be a new story under it. But every time I would close the app and open it because I do that. That's my vibe.
Right.
And every single time there's dumbass fucking Army Hammer, the fucking cannibal, the fucking predator getting TMZ airtime. Can we not?
Not only
He's canceled. What are we doing?
I want you to listen to this, and then I'm going to explain something to you. Hang on, ready?
It was hilarious because I was like, you know what? Like, women are the worst. Like, gay dudes seem to have it so easy. Like, so easy. I'm at a restaurant, my phone blows up, and it's like Grindr, and like someone else is like, I'm at the same restaurant. Do you want a blowjob in the bathroom? And you're like, hey guys, I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and then you get up and you go to the bathroom, you get a blowjob, and you come back and you're like, what was that? Like, I don't know, some guy just sucked my. It's like, who? It's like, oh, I don't know, I didn't get his name. Anyway, what'd you order?
Yeah, totally.
But, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. Like maybe this actually works for me. Let's give it a try. And I remember I met this dude, handsome, French, you know, the whole thing.
We're at 40 seconds.
The whole thing.
We're at 40 fucking seconds right now. Hang on. Just wait. Hang on.
I was like, okay, this could work. This could work. Let's try this. I remember I started making out with him, and I just remember being like, God, beards. Like, oh, I get why women like it when you shave. Like, this thing is fucking rough. Like, how do I get in there?
Totally.
And I remember I put my arms around him, and I was like, oh my God, and these shoulders are so wide. He's so big. Like, he's almost my height. Like, this is so strange. And it did physically for me, absolutely nothing. Like, it didn't, like, not even a twitch. And I was just like, okay. And then I remember like we were like making out, and it was kind of like getting hotter and heavier, but I was like going through the motions of like not feeling anything. And then he like reached for my, and I was like, you're not going to touch my flaccid. Like, this is not going to happen. I'm sorry. And I was like, you know what? I got to stop us here. And he's like, no. And I was like, yeah.
This is like no, I mean,
it's like you didn't say anything. A whole sentence.
All right. So here's the thing I wanted to bring home. This is the joke.
Let's see if it's the same thing I think. Go ahead.
That's his podcast.
Okay.
That's not a question. Like, he's not going on somebody else's podcast. Like, he put together a podcast.
Keying with somebody else.
He didn't get invited on a podcast. That's his podcast. He invited that human being to sit down with him
and hear about the time that he tried to bang a dude.
Dude.
Right.
I don't have the greatest interview skills, and I know that I go on personal rants sometimes when we have a guest.
It's the Army Hammer show. Apparently he just talks about himself.
Right, I do that. But
Mike? What were you going to say?
Well, the thing that was striking for me was he drew the lines. You're not going to touch my flaccid penis.
Right.
Do you know why? 'Cause he's afraid of the hard-on at this point.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Now he's afraid to like it, and there's something about manual stimulation.
Oh yeah.
You can't necessarily fight it.
Right. Yeah, he's a weird. We watched his documentary about him and his family and how they're very violent and weird and cringy and canceled.
Well,
and
all the
back.
cancellations have been lifted. Nobody's canceled anymore.
Oh, because of the racist president?
Well,
so everybody feels like it's a free for all.
It's not a function of the racism. It's a function of the
lack
of social skills.
Yeah. Anyways, I found the things that I wanted to talk about really quick.
Okay.
I can go fast.
Okay.
There's a Threads account called Got to Go NYC that shares like passwords for the door locks in the bathrooms around New York City at restaurants.
Okay.
I mean, that's mostly it, but I just underneath the tweet that I screenshotted, this was there. But it said, hey, NYC, bathroom code at Home Depot flagship on Nomad is 6175. XOXO, go piss girl. And so it's funny because I love Gossip Girl, and that's how Gossip Girl ended all of her things. XOXO, Gossip Girl. And if this is go piss girl.
That's kind of
instead of Gossip Girl,
Yeah,
it's
Go piss girl.
and she's sharing the secret bathroom.
Yeah,
codes.
and they have like a bunch. There was some in Boston. There was like, hey, Boston Starbucks, this is the password for this.
Ooh,
Yeah. So that's a funny thing. And then also
let's start giving out fake codes
for Delaware.
so people shit themselves.
And then
Jesus, I thought this was. They told me.
I have to poop.
You'll get fact checked all over the internet.
Yeah, but they'll have to buy new underwear.
The other crazy thing that's going on. You guys remember? I'm so tired. I'm sorry. Do you guys remember Casey Anthony, the murderer?
It's funny. I just said that to him because I was like, I just found this out and I threw it into B. I was going to throw it at C block just because we're late. Go ahead.
This dumbass murder ass bitch has a TikTok because she's trying to reintroduce herself.
Let me reintroduce myself.
My name is Casey Anthony and I murdered my 2-year-old daughter. Like, so the comments are commenting. The comments are not. So it starts with her being like, oh God, I'm going to sweat to death. And everyone's like, please do. Please do.
It looks like I immediately have to take back my statement. All cancellations are over.
Yeah, no, this cancellation is not
Anthony
over.
Let's keep that one.
Is still canceled.
There's a lot of comments saying if Kaylee was alive, she would be 19 and a half years old and we'd all be liking her.
Ooh.
Cute TikToks of her dancing and being with her friends. Murderers should not be able to be on TikTok profiting off of their victims.
That's a kick in the fucking god, dude.
She's saying, she said, I've been in the legal field since 2011, which is crazy because she's been on trial. You've been in the legal field, babe, because you were on trial for murdering your child.
Yeah, that was out of necessity. It wasn't like you said, I'm going to go to law school.
You know, like I've been a paralegal. I've worked in a lawyer. I've a janitor at a lawyer. No, I've been on trial. That's how my legal career started.
Let me tell you something.
I've been accused of murder.
I've been in the family court field since I was 19 years old.
Right. Like, oh, so you're a parent. Cool. I'm going to sweat to
More
death.
importantly, I'm the
Internet.
non-custodial parent, right?
Casey Anthony rebranding herself as a legal advocate is like Jeffrey Dahmer opening a steakhouse. You can't rebrand. We know who you are already. I'd rather follow your daughter, but you made sure she didn't have the chance.
Ooh. Yeah. Dude, so she's couple.
She's saying that she's
Army Hammer and Casey Anthony.
Oh my God, they could fucking bite each other's skin.
Dude, they could make little demon babies and kill them.
Ew. Delete that. Scrub that from the internet. Are you kidding?
What, talking about the death of fictional babies?
Yeah. Even if they're devil babies made by two devils themselves. Anyways, that's what's happening on my internet. That and Elton John and Chappell Roan performing at the Oscar after party.
I got this vision in my head of a TikTok. I wish I could go find. I might actually try to go find during the next story. But I'll explain it. It's a kid and he has his daughter and he's like, today I'm golfing with my daughter. And then the next scene. Just wails this doll with a fucking golf club and it goes flying.
I've seen that. That's good.
What are we actually supposed to be talking about?
Well, we're supposed to be talking about Luigi's Naughty Mansion. From porn dreams to prison screams.
My Luigi?
Yes, you're Luigi.
My boo-boo?
Mm-hmm. You might get some
what murder?
You might get a little bit of action from your boy.
Oh my God, he was the best guy around.
He's the best guy around.
Good evening. This is the Reverend Professor Mike Latoris with TMVP News, where the only thing harder than the news is Luigi Mangione.
Oh.
Recent revelations have exposed that before allegedly murdering United Health CEO Brian Thompson,
Allegedly,
Luigi Mangione was trying to build an empire, one stroke at a time. Starring in over 20 self-produced adult films with production values described as nearly cinematic.
nearly. Can you imagine watching some dudes like porno and thinking, this is cinema quality? Bravo. And it ends with Finn. Sorry.
That's right. That's right. This guy was out there trying to be the next Scorsese, except every movie ended with him directing himself into a sticky situation.
I bet every one of those movies ended with the tagline, Mangione, coming soon.
Sources say Mangione was obsessed with being watched, an exhibitionist who got off on attention, which explains why his dreams of being a porn king ended with him behind bars instead of behind someone named Candy. Despite his dedication to the perfect lighting and cinematic quality, insiders claim the women featured in the films are too afraid to come forward. Because let's face it, no one wants to testify in open court about how Luigi Mangione gave them a gavel bang.
I heard his stage name was Don Cockleone. Say hello to my moderately sized friend.
Hold on. So are these real or these AI?
This is a real story.
And are these videos old?
Well, they're before the murder.
Okay, yes. I thought it was like he was escaping jail to like do a porn.
No. He was trying to make a porno, I guess, build a porn empire before he, I guess, hurt his back. Was the right?
Yeah, while Mangione may have been chasing clout, he's now racking up a different kind of following, with women sending him letters in jail, which proves the theory that some ladies just can't resist a bad boy, especially one who knows how to set up a three-point lighting rig before laying some pipe. Investigators believe Mangione's obsession with attention could have played a role in the alleged murder, showing that when you're living two lives, it's only a matter of time before you split your load.
So much porn words.
So, dude, how Chat GPT, Byte Reynolds, he just spit that out. The only thing I added to that was say hello to my moderately sized friend after Don Cockleone, because I didn't like it.
Wrong movie, but the actor carries.
Don Corleone
was in The Godfather. Say hello to my little friend is Pacino and Scarface.
Oh, wow. Oh, his name was Tony Montoya.
Gang words.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, fuck off. Everybody.
All the way off.
No one can stop you. Fuck all the way off. All right. So I figured you'd have some interest in discovering
that he's a little porner.
Well, I thought you might want to, take a look at the man in action.
No, thank you.
You don't want to watch him lay some pipe?
No, nobody's looking at the penis during porn.
Yeah, but it's like, what are you looking at during porn?
Not the penis.
What do you look at during porn?
Mind your business. Run me my money. Mind your business. That's my private life.
Well, this is the Media Virus podcast.
Okay. Well, what's that girl that was in Iran demanding money? I'm her.
Well,
or Iraq. Iraq.
I feel like you're hiding something.
Little bit.
I'm not going to talk about porn.
Well,
on the worldwide internet.
You know who else was hiding something?
I'm currently hiding something. My recording just stopped out of nowhere.
No me diga.
And I don't know how far back.
All right. Well, we're going.
Well, it wasn't very funny.
So you're
it's
gonna
fine.
you're gonna have to pull off of the video anyway.
Yeah.
So this is what we're left with.
All right.
But,
Anyway.
Erica's laughing at absolutely nothing.
Not at you.
Not at us. You want to share with the class what you're laughing at?
Yeah. Okay. So you know how we watch Traitors and it's the best show on the internet?
Yes.
There's a picture of Mekhi Phifer's character in a movie, and he has his hand on his head, and he has a cigarette in his hand, and he looks disappointed,
Defeated almost.
And the thing says every time Dolores reveals her vote at the round table.
Oh yeah, she's an idiot.
Dolores just likes to vote for somebody fucking random. It's always between 2, maybe 3 people, and she's voting for somebody not in the mix.
I gotta tell you, we highly recommend Traitors on Peacock. This is the worst fucking season yet.
Yeah, they're more about
it's so idiotic
being on the show than winning the money in the game.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
But the season finale's tomorrow at 9, so anybody who wants to like binge it tomorrow, like it would be
if you
a
binge
good
it
time
tonight,
to
you
start.
can watch the season finale tomorrow.
Right.
So you got that going
Peacock.
for you. And that's full of, treachery and deceit
Mm-hmm.
and
reality is so much suspense.
Yeah.
And also just like if you know the people from the reality shows that they're on, it's just like there's a lot of funnies.
Yeah. I just started. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry. I just started watching Arrested Development, and I can't for the life of me figure out why I didn't watch it before.
Yeah, no, that happened to me. I mean, it was 10 years ago that I started watching it, but there's always money in the banana stand. I love that for you. Becky and Vince started watching Dexter. And I was like, that's old.
Yeah, there's a lot of old stuff that I should probably go back. It's like I never got on board with Shameless, so I've got.
Highly, that's a recommend right there.
Relatable. Becky also watched West Wing a year ago. It took her like a year to watch West Wing.
I told Matt last night on Amazon. I've watched Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton.
Mm.
It's an Amazon original series. That was fantastic. There's 4 seasons of it.
Yeah, we're not Amazon watchers that much. We have it, Prime. We have it, but we just never do.
Is that a show? Is that a show that's full of drug smuggling and animal trafficking?
Not specifically, but there's always there's a crime element that they're running around after in each episode. So there's ups and downs and pitfalls and pratfalls, and Billy Bob Thornton is just he's so fucking brilliant.
He's in another show too, isn't he? Landman or Oil Land?
Yeah, I think so.
On Paramount Plus.
Yeah. He's a busy guy.
Good for him. He's a busy guy because he's old as shit.
Right. I didn't think after watching Sling Blade, I thought he was kind of dumb.
No, he's a smart guy. He was on Armchair. I want to say recently, but it wasn't that recently. I'm so behind on Armchair.
I'm actually obsessed with Sling Blade. There's just something about the way he speaks that just sticks in my head.
Mm.
And he did that. He walked on set with that.
Yeah.
And
what numbers do you press in?
He didn't use prosthetics or any makeup for the look. Like that's all him contorting his face.
Yeah.
What else story?
What do you think, Billy? Do you think Sling Blade would try to drug smuggle and animal traffic?
Mm-hmm. I like meth. I like abalone.
Abalone.
Most people like lemon juice, but I like mustard.
Isn't abalone illegal in like South Africa?
Mustard on my abalone.
Yeah.
Mustard on your abalone. Oh. Abalone.
Hello.
Wait here, I gotta walk my turtle. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening, Maddie, and all of the degenerate disciples tuning in to TMVP, where the only thing harder to find than the truth is a clean urine sample in Windsor, California. In today's edition of Methin' Around, Windsor police pulled off what can only be described as a low-speed seafood bust. with a side of methamphetamine and one very confused turtle. Now, Maddie, I know California is known for its exotic cuisine, but this is the first time I've heard of anyone serving up turtle Rockefeller with a crystal glaze.
Well, you got to respect the hustle, man. That's surf, turf, and dessert all in one arrest.
Police say the 46-year-old driver, already on probation, had outstanding warrants in multiple counties, proving once again that if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if you give a man meth and 35 illegally harvested abalone, he'll turn his Honda Civic into a goddamn seafood buffet on wheels.
Yeah, I heard the turtle was just there to make sure the car stayed under the speed limit.
Authorities aren't sure how the turtle got involved, but let's be real. He was probably the brains of the whole operation. The couple claims they were harvesting the abalone for personal use because nothing pairs better with some good old-fashioned meth than 35 slimy mollusks and a reptile named Speedy.
I've heard of slow food movements, but this is taking that to a whole new vibe.
California wildlife officials say the abalone couldn't be returned to the ocean due to environmental concerns, which is the same reason these two probably shouldn't be returned to society. Meanwhile, the turtle was released back into the wild. No word on whether he's writing a tell-all memoir about his time as a drug mule. Both suspects are cooling their shells at the Sonoma County Jail while the investigation continues. Remember, folks, crime doesn't pay unless you're running a black market seafood shack out of the trunk of your car. Reporting live from the meth, mollusk, and turtle trifecta, I'm the Reverend Professor Mike Latoris, TMVP News. Back to you, Maddie.
So it's illegally harvested at, like, I don't understand why you would go fucking do, like, break the law when you can buy fucking bologna in the fucking Oscar Mayer packets, dude. It's cheap.
No,
it's fucking cheap. You don't have to.
No,
you don't have to. You know what I mean?
Abalone is a mollusk. It's an ocean mollusk.
Okay, well, I mean, whatever it is, it's delicious. I love it on a sandwich with mayonnaise and American cheese.
No, not bologna.
What?
Not
abalone.
Not bologna. Abalone.
Abalone is like a shellfish.
Abalone, like when you peel one off, it's abalone.
No, it's a shellfish.
I'm not shellfish. I'm trying to share my recipe for a bologna sandwich.
It's on first. I stopped reading my Instagram for this.
Yeah, no, that was the point of it.
Yeah.
Nice callback to my mustard get too.
Mustard.
Mustard.
Like
Where's the flavor you've been after?
Oh wow, we're on two different things.
I don't know what's going on.
I like mustard on my abalone.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Some people call it a podcast. I call it Wednesday night.
I make a bologna sandwich with mustard. All right. Babe?
What
would you do if you were on a plane and the dude next to you died?
Oh my God. Why did I hear about this?
Because it's the news.
Why did you hear about this if I heard about this?
Because it's the fucking news, baby. I go looking for news.
I don't know. I just feel like we never know the same news.
No, that's not true. Last week,
sometimes
you knew about every story I brought up.
Yeah, you probably found the story on my news page.
Or I'm just looking for stories that I think would interest you more.
Oh my God, my husband's showing interest in my interest. Jealous.
Everybody should be jealous.
We just like to have your voice on our show.
Oh. So yeah, if somebody died next to me, I'd be like, you can move me. You can move me right now.
Right.
I'll sit on the toilet.
You can move me, right? That makes more sense.
Yeah, this man's dead. What are you gonna do? Disturb the body?
No, that's exactly, Mike.
Well, you know, when you have a dead body on an airplane, it makes more sense to leave them in there, right?
That's what to me. But
you know, unless it's like right in the middle of everything, but you know, you leave them kind of, you put them off to the side. No. Good evening, Maddie, and all you morbidly curious listeners tuning into TMVP, where we dig up the stories others are too polite to exhume. Tonight's tale takes us to the not-so-friendly skies of Qatar Airways, where one couple's romantic getaway turned into a scene straight out of Weekend at Bernie's. Mitchell Ring and Jennifer Collin were en route from Melbourne to Doha, dreaming of Venetian canals when their flight took a terminal turn.
Sounds like they got upgraded to stiff class.
Mid-flight, a fellow passenger suffered a fatal medical emergency. The crew, faced with a grave situation, found themselves in a deadlock. With no vacant seats and rigor mortis setting in, they turned to Mitchell and Jennifer, asking them to shuffle over and make room for the newly departed.
Talk about an in-flight entertainment buzzkill. Excuse me, sir, would you mind sharing your armrest with Mrs. Deadbody? Mrs. Deadbody. You mind sharing your armrest with Mrs. Deadbody?
For the next 4 hours, our intrepid travelers found themselves in a macabre menage a trois, seated next to a corpse covered with a blanket. Mitchell even managed to catch a movie, proving that when life gives you cadavers, you make cadaverade.
You think he was watching Weekend at Bernie's? But not for nothing. Why would they even fucking put a blanket over him? Get him a party hat. I'd be ordering fucking drinks for him. I'm like, yo, this dude needs another vodka and tonic. Not me, it's him.
Upon landing, the couple was instructed to remain seated while first responders retrieved the body. Qatar Airways has since...
They had to stay there till everybody got off. Through no fault. No, see, I went back to the source material.
Right.
Okay. And because the part that confused me is there's no vacant seats. Yes, there was.
Yeah.
The one that he was fucking in.
I would not sit on a dead man's seat
when he died.
Yeah.
Dude, so what they did is I guess rigor mortis set in. They couldn't get him any further up to where there was a vacancy. They stuffed him in next to these people.
Her.
Well, he was sitting next to her.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like she had to encroach on his environment.
Right.
And then, I guess, well, he wasn't too, the body wasn't. Oh, it was a chick and she wasn't too encroached upon, but.
Well,
is that what you were saying?
The body, the corpse is a woman.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Qatar Airways has since reached out to the affected passengers, offering condolences and perhaps a complimentary seance.
Am I supposed to read something there?
Yeah, there's a tagline for...
Oh, I hear the new slogan is Qatar Airways, taking you places dead or alive.
In all seriousness, folks, while death is a part of life, it's not exactly the kind of carry-on you expect. So next time you fly, remember, always check the upgrade policy and maybe pack a Ouija board just in case. Reporting live from the departure lounge of the afterlife, I'm the Professor, Mike Latoris. TMVP News. Back to you, Maddie.
Thanks, Mike. And to our listeners, may your flights be lively and your seatmates breathing. Stay tuned for more tales that put the fun in funeral. You know? Oh, it was that story kind of drove me nuts. Because I don't know why. Like, why wouldn't you just leave him there?
Yeah, like she died in her seat, and they're like, "Oh, we got to move her." And the crew picks her up and starts hauling her to the other end of the plane. But they got to a point in moving her where, because of rigor setting in, they couldn't fit her up the aisle anymore.
Well, wait, hold on. I just remembered. I actually did hear this story on the Toast. And I feel like I told you about this story when it happened on the Toast. But they were saying that she was a bigger woman. And
yes,
it's just like, oh, really? She was so big. Get the fuck.
But
if she was so big, then nobody would have been like, no, we're not carrying her.
If she was so fat she couldn't fit down, it said in the aisle that she was a larger. It said in the article in the source material that she was
yes,
right. But
if
she managed to get down to the aisle to her seat. She managed to get into a fucking seat.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
She was also on her feet under her own locomotion at the time.
No, I get that. But when a fat broad dies, you don't try to fucking move her.
Right. Like, I just feel like if people were like disturbed, like if she was so big and people were like disturbed while she was trying to walk by them, then people would probably be like, hey, I don't think she's going to fit because on the way in, she didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there are so many things.
Dude, this bitch is fat. You ain't going to carry her.
And I just feel like
little pussies.
She's a dead woman. Can we just protect her?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, throw a
if she didn't speak English, we wouldn't say this woman who didn't speak English. You know what I mean? If she was deaf, we wouldn't say, oh, this deaf woman died. You know what I mean? So
no, but dead is a fucking
deaf.
Deaf. She's not.
If she was deaf, they wouldn't be like, oh, this deaf lady died on an airplane. You know what I mean? Like being like,
well, no, because her being deaf has nothing to do with.
I just feel like her being fat has nothing to do with it. You could have left it out, and you could have just said they had a hard time moving her. That's it. That's all.
But an 85-pound girl, you don't have any problem moving.
They fit in suitcases, though.
Oh yeah, Well,
I mean,
let me tell you something. You can cut them up real small. You can fit them. You can fit them in a handbag.
Regardless, don't move a dead body. Move the people next to her.
Or listen, not for nothing, it could have been just more room for baggage. You know what I mean? You could have piled stuff right on top of her. She'd have never known. You know?
Totally. What else is happening?
I want to go to India and sue people. I just want to go to India, get pissed about something and sue because it's cheap, dude.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
You wouldn't
listen to the details in this story.
How cheap is it?
Huh.
Well, get into the story, you'll find out.
Sue the Ads, Not the Player with the Reverend Professor Mike Latoris. Well, it seems the long arm of the law has finally slapped the sticky popcorn fingers of big cinema. Abhishek MR. That's my best attempt at that. That's all you get. Abhishek MR, a lawyer from Bangalore, India, just made history. Not by fighting crime, but by fighting commercials. That's right. This legal eagle took PVR Inox, India's largest movie theater chain, to court and won for showing too many ads before the movie started. Now, Maddie, I know you appreciate a good 3-hour cinematic epic. But how would you feel if half of that runtime was just car commercials, mobile data plans, and that weird perfume ad that nobody knows what they're selling, but everybody's kind of horny?
I don't know, Rev. It depends. Are they showing me something that makes me want to buy popcorn, or something that makes me want to pop one off in the back row?
Oh my!
I think
that joke's the only reason the story's still here.
I think. I think they call that the premium experience, Maddie. Extra butter on that one. This guy, Abhishek, missed a work call because the ads pushed the movie nearly 30 minutes late. And instead of just writing a bad Yelp review like a normal person, he lawyered the hell up. The court awarded him 20,000 rupees. That's about $230 for his pain and suffering.
He went to court. He won $230.
No, he won 20,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Plus another $92 in legal fees, and they made the theater cough up over $1,000.
$92
welfare fund.
$92 in legal fees.
Yeah.
To sue.
Yep.
I'd sue everybody.
I'm just saying, if suing movie theaters for wasting our time is a thing now, I'm about to be rolling in settlement money. I've spent more time watching Nicole Kidman tell me how magical AMC is than I have watching actual movies.
I mean, heartbreak feels good in a place like this, right?
The only heartbreak I'm feeling is when I pay $20 for a bucket of popcorn that couldn't fit on a toddler's head. But seriously, fellas, should we be suing every company that wastes our time? Should we take Spotify to court every time they play one more ad before the song? What about those websites that make you watch 30 seconds of commercials before showing you a 3-second video of a cat falling off a table? And let's not forget, every married guy out there just had one question pop into their head. Can I sue my wife for making me wait outside Target for 45 minutes while she just grabs one thing? What do you think, guys? Is this a win for the little guy? Or are we one lawsuit away from a world where Netflix hits you with terms and conditions pop-ups before every episode of Law & Order SVU?
Yeah. I don't understand the last sentence, but fuck. That was funny.
Does Netflix have Law & Order?
No.
Anyways, we're boycotting Target, I guess, guys.
Oh, yeah, I heard something about that. Why?
I think they canceled their DEI efforts.
I can explain that. It's not because they're a hateful bunch of assholes.
No? Is it because it wasn't making money?
It's because large companies like Target and Walmart and I think Coca-Cola, McDonald's are a few of the ones that had said that they were pulling back or removing those policies altogether. It's not because they're hateful assholes. It's not because they don't like to include everyone. It's because those companies enjoy federal contract. They participate in federal contracts. They provide a service to the federal government so that they can get paid. And the federal government in their contracts reserves the right to cancel for cause or convenience. And one of the reasons that they can do that is they can cite that you're engaging in business practices that go against the federal way of doing things, the way of thinking, the
new vibes,
the sensibilities of the administration. So if you have a multi-million-dollar contract that helps you eat and turn the lights on, you have to decide whether you want to keep doing that or not. And a lot of these companies that you're hearing about them, it's making news because they do releases, because being public companies, they have to let the shareholders know about things. The easiest way to do that's with a press release. Right. But then the news picks it up and wants to spin it as, oh, look at this asshole company over here doing this, which really isn't the case. It really goes to how government contracts are written. And
but I think
they don't want to lose their bread and butter.
I mean, not for nothing. So it really seems like they had those initiatives to get the contracts.
That was likely part of it as well.
You know what I mean?
Because under the last administration, it would have been inverse. It would have been the administration believes in this, and if you're not going to support it at your company in this way, we're going to have to ask you to pound sand.
Now, understand, they can't. People can't, like, use your diversity as a reason not to hire you. If you're the most qualified candidate, you're the most qualified candidate.
Right. EEO. Right. It doesn't affect EEO, which is equal.
What about EGG?
I'm not worried about the chickens, Matt.
$8 for eggs, and they didn't even have any at Walmart.
$8 for no eggs. It's a travesty.
I think it was like $8.74 or some nonsense.
What the fuck?
I know. I should have got some when I was at Sam's, but I forgot.
It's because we have this antiquated policy of whenever there's a bird flu, we call all the flocks, because it worked in the past, where if dead chickens don't get flu.
Dead chickens don't get flus.
It's bedtime, fellas.
That's a great album title.
It is.
Dead chickens.
We should have played this during the Mangione. We played this during the Mangione newsread. I completely forgot this was here.
Oh, is this sexy music, Matt?
Well, it's called Feeding the Ducks. And feeding the ducks is a euphemism
For jerking off.
That's right. See? It is kind of
squeezing the squirrel.
Punching the clown.
Anyways, you said something about an album.
I had a band called Punching
cover
the Clown
an
for 10
album
minutes.
name, and that's funny that you mentioned that because on my way home from work today, I kept thinking of the phrase, the name, Silly Goose, because there was a thread that had a bunch of collective threads about that were centered around Silly Goose and the word Silly Goose, and I'm just a silly goose.
Describes me.
Somebody had a parking citation, and they appealed it, and their appeal said, "I don't think I should pay this because I'm just a silly goose." And the citation, the appeal was approved. And so, just funny, I had the word Silly Goose, and I was like, if I have an album, because I'm a singer also in my head. If I have an album, I feel like the title of the album should be Silly Goose.
I feel like we could start a podcast called Silly Goose.
Quack.
And it's just me and you being silly gooses.
Oh my God. Can we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start it when I wake up.
Okay.
Yeah. You're gonna have to pick a day to tape on.
Listen, so it was my birthday, and so obviously I think about like, what do I want for the next year of my life? And like those types of things. And me and Becky were talking about it when we were at lunch. And France want to do stepmoms, and stepmoms will just be a name. That's just something that we can be categorized.
Okay.
Categorized by. But I don't know what do we talk about? Like I have life updates, and I can like not make up life updates, but like I can find something very small and make a whole episode about it. Where with Becky, she doesn't want to share that much because she doesn't think that she has that much going on. But in the same way, like I could fucking find one thing that she told me about her day, and it could be the whole episode. You know what I mean? And so she's just like a shy baby. I'm not a newser. Like I see the news, and I like today I had to force myself to read the comments about Casey Anthony after I saw the thread that announced that she was trying to reintroduce herself, but I wouldn't, without needing to do the research for this podcast, like I wouldn't click on it. I would just be like, oh my God, Casey Anthony, fucking hot mess, bye. And I would keep scrolling.
Sure.
Like there's my problem. And then Becky's.
I have a lot of the same problem. I force myself to sit down and
actually find out the information.
Go looking
and not just
for
read
shit.
the headlines.
Right. And
I'm
I gotta
a headline girl.
And I gotta look past all the Trump shit and all the politics shit and try to find stories that are, this is the goofy shit that happened this week.
Yeah.
Or maybe, early last week.
But like we don't want to be super committal to like a time. The other issue is like, since you're back at work now, like who's editing this podcast?
I can do
because
it. No
not
problem.
me.
It's no problem.
It's a problem. It was a problem before.
No, I'm more responsible now.
What's happening?
I just want. I have an album cover. I need an album though.
Oh. You can call it Silly Goose if you want.
No. My name is Professor Mike Latoris. My name is a joke.
My name is a joke.
That's funny. And so there might be a Stepmoms Without Children episode near you.
Very, very exciting news.
Yeah.
Very exciting news.
Great news.
We just got to make sure that this Prozac starts working, and Becky likes her new job to, take some time to talk to me on a podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of changes over here.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
you know what, Mike? We've hit like the 48-minute mark.
Oh, this is done and over. Goodbye.
So I think we've, just.
Sorry for the long wind,
no,
listeners of A Block.
We love it.
That's why you're here.
I hope
love.
you travel to work, and you did a good job when you traveled. I hope you're waiting to go in right now, and you're waiting for Mike to say all the things.
Yes, people are desperately waiting to hear our credits.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
As always.
I will dig them out for you. This episode of the Media Virus Podcast is brought to you by 302-46 Voice. That's 302-46 Voice. If you want my voice on your project, dial 302-46 Voice today. Don't forget to check out our sister show on the Media Virus Podcast Network, Stepmoms Without Children. Join Ricky Rockdeff as she takes a deep dive into the fascinating people she meets and thinks that you should meet too. Find Stepmoms Without Children at themediavirus.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your fine podcasts. Special thanks to mysportsreports.com and delawaresports.com, delivering regional sports coverage straight to your devices via stream and podcast. Learn more at mysportsreports.com.